Hello everybody and a welcome back to New Age Championship. It is myself, Zabi, and one more time I'll be taking you all through for the second last time around for the season, as it is round 11 here at the Spanish GP. Unfortunately there was a little bit of a late start, but there we are out here bringing you all the action. Unfortunately didn't get the championship standings in a bit of a hurried start, but let's get it as we are around. I'll read it out for you guys. So the championship at the moment, especially, it might not be the end of the championship matter, but it might be the end of the championship matter. So for the top two, it is Tyron only needs to finish ahead of Fino in Spain to become the New Age Drivers champion. Also, all he needs is to just finish ahead of Fino. But can he do that though? Fino knows that Fino needs a bit of a luck. Tyron scoreless in race in Spain and a win in Abu Dhabi, or the other way round. He goes scoreless here and wins in Abu Dhabi, or wins here and goes scoreless in Abu Dhabi. So the championship itself, it is Tyron 198 points, Fino 165 with Days 122, 128 who's missing this race. Then it's Michael Evil. He's changed his name this time, that's what I see. In P4, 99 points to his name. Then 12 behind is Alvaro with 87 in 5th place for Mercedes. Then Oliver in P6 with 73 points to his name. Brendo 62, 55 for Midu 9, P8 for him in fact, and P9 for Ian in 5th, 63 points, only 2 behind Midu. Rebello in P10, 27 points to Coda Reeves. The other 10 in the championship, that is Edward in P20, P11 with 20 points, then Paul in with P12. 13 points to his name, 10 points to Archie in P13, P14 to Russo, P15 to Freddy, then 5 points to Pesego and Wiggy in P16 and 17, only one ahead of Romero in P18. Then DJ and Thomas are both on 2 points each, then along with Bruno as well, 3 drivers on 2 points that are 2021 drivers out there. Now then, we are ready to go. So Tyron, all he needs is to finish ahead of Fino this race, and he's going to be able to win the championship and be your New Age Drivers World Champion. Can he do that though? That is a big question. Unfortunately, we'll look at the Constructors Championship throughout as well. This is a sudden of a start, so we need to catch up with the action out on track as well. So a driver out on that set of medium tyre, which obviously usually in qualifying is about just to do the practice laps and then get back out on track. And here it is at the Spanish GP with Devin in P1. Obviously no laps have been done yet, so it just shows all it can. Can we look at drivers on a flying lap? Yes, we can. Brando in this custom livery that was eventually offered in that survival challenge. I actually didn't take the livery. I had enough points. I took the helmet because I never really thought it was any you know, it was new, and look at that. Brando's going to go super wide, and his lap is ruined straight away. Meanwhile, Checo is going to go faster than him. 112.9. Might not be the time to talk about my own things. Now, 112.950 for him. 400th of a second better than the Mercedes. What about Tyron? He goes even faster and better than all these guys. And definitely that time indicates he's going to be your pole sitter. 112.185. Remember, he has had 9 pole positions this season. This will make it 10. So if that is anything to go by, he's unfortunately not been able to convert this pole to win ratio as much as he would have liked. Remember, he has 6 wins this season so far, and Fino has won 4 times. If he wins this race, 7 wins for him this season. Most by any driver here at New Age Championship, New Age F1, but can he do it though? That is a big question of the time. Meanwhile, we're going to look at things and more drivers who are going to be, we will be looking at closer to that finish line, closer to the end of the finish line. There is a driver over the line, and that is going to be special, but they're just going to be starting their lap. Oliver So that's going to be far away from to the end of the pit lane. Meanwhile, so will be DJ. He's just making his way around at the end of that middle sector now. But on that outlap, both Mercedes drivers have got a time on board. Midu 113.6974 and Brendo 114.0 with that mistake. 114.1 for Devon in P6. His teammate 114.1 as well. 0.5 and 2.2 for Romero. Then the Big E 114.7 and Archie 115.5. So these are your 9 drivers with a time on board just yet, as we're going to look at others and everyone around to get a lap in, as there's going to be Freddie over the finish line. He will be, but how good does he do it? Not enough. And did he start his lap? In fact, no, he didn't. His lap might have been invalidated. Anybody behind on a good, nice flying lap? Was Midu on a better lap? Yes, he was. He did get a 10th on his lap around here, but he could not get any more than that. So that is nice and easy. As drivers are out, 12 minutes remain in this session, and all of you watching on Twitch, New Age Twitch, do let me know how is the live and if it's nice, running nice and okay, because that needs to be nice. All right, we have the old thumbnail actually for my YouTube live, which we'll definitely eventually get to, but not just yet. And I've slightly, let me know how that is, but I've slightly turned down the game audio, because the other day what I did was basically I did a GT7 stream, which the game was overlapping. The game audio was overlapping my audio by way too much, so that's why it was not way too much, but it was still a little bit. That's why I just turned this down a little bit. Now looking at the drivers, Special, who started their lap earlier on, who had only managed 118.6 on their flying lap, and they will need to go again one more time. But DJ at the moment, he's moving through 115.8 for him. He's not improving by much in the middle sector, but by how much can he do it? Meanwhile, his teammate Fino himself is going to be coming into the pit lane. What about the other RB? That should be of Ian. He's into the pits as well, but Special over the finish line won't be doing much. 124.8, but definitely that would have been a out lap rather, because of invalidating that lap. Definitely now that lap, now whatever he puts right now will be a lap that we'll need to look at. Meanwhile, Michael over the line to start his lap, and one of the 3 drivers who haven't got a time on board, that is Ian Widia, Freddie and Michael. Freddie at the moment hasn't got a time as well, invalidates another lap, just unable to keep it within track limits, unable to keep it within the white lines, and just can't do what he needs to do, can't keep it on the track. Thank you so much, mate, appreciate that. Glad you guys always like this, and really putting this one in front of the screens and really making the action come to life out on track. Meanwhile, Romero is in P8, 114.1, needs a bit of a better lap. Just doesn't need much though, 200s would be enough. 22 milliseconds to push himself into P7 and ahead of his teammate. What about Ian? Is just going to start his lap. Meanwhile, Oliver is in P11, but also an invalidated lap. Invalidated another one, so just unable to keep it within the white lines. These drivers are finding it pretty difficult now. Definitely that's going to be interesting to see, where do they really find it difficult. Meanwhile, Michael is going to be coming over the finish line now, and 113.031 will push him through to P4, and to the top 4 comes Michael out there. As I was saying, I'm not sure what part of the track our drivers really finding it difficult in terms of invalidating their laps and unable to put a lap in. So Ian at the moment is going nice and easy. Meanwhile, we go to Archie, but he's also invalidated. Sorry, no invalidated. He's heading into the pit lane. So look at this then. Special is almost throughout a lap again. He's invalidated a couple of times. This is a place that drivers could invalidate. This is a corner that I don't think drivers would eventually invalidate unless you go very wide around there. There's a Alpine of Romero going over the line. He doesn't find an improvement. Meanwhile, he just slightly goes wide, all special, but no, in fact, keeps it within the track and nice and easy. And he's kept a lap good so far. 1:18.0, 1:18.6 has been his previous time, slowest of the running cars. He invalidated a couple of his laps, and now coming around the final corner, he'll have a lap on board, and he'll get up to only P11. Only P11 for him. I remember that meme from a couple of years ago where a driver would be racing, it was F1 2019 as far as I remember. He'd be on a lap on Bahrain. I don't know if any of you guys have reference to that. He'd be going fast, he'd be going very fast. He'd think that at least. He'd say he's going to be top 5, easy top 5. And then it's P16 for him, so I just remember that. P11. So kind of like that, I just feel, you know, I just remember that, like P11 for Oliver there. What about me too? He's going to be in that Mercedes trying to find a few 10s. He will find those 10s, but only out on in terms of time, not in terms of position at all. He stays where he was. And what about the two Alpines? Meanwhile, Romero comes into the pits, who couldn't improve on his previous lap. Meanwhile, Devon starts his lap and onto it. 7.5 minutes still remain, and Tyron's still over 7/10 quicker, but he's came out early. He's came out pretty early in qualifying. Usually, if he's had by that much of a margin, he'd stay out in the pits and maybe come later on. Probably to come towards the very end of the qualifying session as well. As I just moved my mic, I shouldn't have really done that, but eventually that is what I've just done right here. So that's going to be nice as Aston Martin you're cheering for. So let's hope that you get some points. But at the moment, your boys would need to do a lot better. At least Freddie, who hasn't got a time on board at all. So at least he needs a time. You know, Checo slowed down, so he might let Midu get past. No, in fact, Midu has let Checo get past, but I don't think he's improving, at least from that middle sector. He was 2/10 or so down, but he's using his battery, using ERS to get him the extra speed. So maybe he is improving and doesn't go into the pits and over that line. How much does he get the time by? Doesn't get it at all. 1.4 slower. He'll need a little bit. He needs at least a 1/10.5 to get to P2, and a lot more than that to go to the line. Meanwhile, Devon goes over the line, and what a lap that is. 1:13.378, and brilliantly done from him. Finds enough time, and as much as he needs. So that's a great decent lap from him as well. Meanwhile, Ian is just going to be starting his lap, or he would have rather just came to the end of it. P9 for him, 14.0. Ooh, he's all, look at that, only 5 milliseconds, just 5 milliseconds behind Brando he is. But Brando, remember, made that huge mistake into that final corner, so he'll need to do surely a little bit better than what he currently has out on track. Remember, Tyron championship is on the line. Tyron just needs to finish ahead of Fino to win this win the championship, and Fino needs to finish ahead of Tyron, and Tyron to have a scoreless race to really do that. And look at that. So a couple of drivers are not happy about Archie actually here, so that is interesting to see. But look at this. Are we having an Alpine driver over the line? Devon should be just starting, rather coming to an end of his lap, and Romero is starting his lap. Mercedes, oh, what about Freddie? Out there at the front. 1:15.3 was his previous lap, and eventually he is using that ERS, so that means he'll be looking after that faster flying lap that he is after. Obviously, he hasn't got a time on board, and the only driver out of the 14 we have tonight, he is the one who hasn't got a time on board. And when can he get that? When can he look to get some points out there, as he's going to be wanting to get some, not those points, but obviously that lap and the qualifying lap that he needs to put out on track, at least push himself towards the top 10, near the top 10, or even just in P13. I mean, at this point, he'd be happy to get, because he's in P15, bottom of the drivers, and hasn't got a time on board as well. That's the worst part, because if you don't have a time on board and you keep invalidating your lap, the confidence drops in. The confidence gets worse and worse. But how good is this one going to be for Freddie over the line? That is a decent lap time to get himself not only towards the top 10 but into P8, so that is going to be somewhat confidence for him at this point to make him feel that you know, he's got the time and that confidence I was talking about. He will definitely get some of it because now he knows that he's going to get a bit of it, and he's going to at least get some breathing space in terms of where he needs to be. Meanwhile, my logo is around it. Sorry about that. So we'll just adjust that. Eventually, I had to adjust it for a different, not a different, but eventually different, obviously. A different league, a different game, basically. So that was the reason I had to put it in a different spot than it usually is. Freddy at the moment, finally with the time on board. His teammate Archie, meanwhile, is not improving at all, but definitely doesn't need to improve then. He'd be on an outlap at the moment. 1:13.2 from him. 1:13.2 is a lap time that is absolutely quick, so that is a brilliant lap from him. Then on that soft compound tire that earlier he hadn't done a lap on. He was on a soft, he was on a medium tire earlier on, so that is a nice one from him. And has the Williams of Wig got past the Sauber there? Yes, he has, but only not by much as he's coming into the pit lane. 1:14.7, second slowest time so far. He needs to do a little bit to improve. Can he find that though in these dying moments, ending moments of qualifying sessions? Not dying moments, but still ending now towards the end of this one. Fino, who's managed to win the last couple of races, 3 in a row as far as I remember. He's done it, and remember, he needs to finish ahead of Tyrone today, but he needs Tyrone to have not so good of a race, otherwise he's gonna really not be able to challenge for the championship, and that championship will be over, ladies and gentlemen. What about Fino over the finish line now? Does he find a little bit of an improvement? Yes, he does, but not enough. Not as much as he needs, though. I think he's going to stay out on the track and possibly do this as a prep lap and get out on track and make it a flying one. Meanwhile, Tyrone is out on track as well. 1:12.696 from Fino at the moment, which is his best so far. Tyrone has started his flying lap, and he has got a lot of time to make out there. Depends how much he can make, but he needs a little bit of it at least. Meanwhile, one Sauber has started their lap. The other's going to go over the line and jump up ahead of Checo into P3, making up another lap over the line. And the Sauber drivers, one is in the top 3, the other would try to make up all that progress and gap to these guys and at least get himself near the top 5, because for that constructors points, they need to be there. Meanwhile, the Sauber of, not Sauber actually, it's going to be a, that should have been an RB, I believe. Yes, it would have been an RB of Special MP8. Now his teammate is down in at P12, so a little bit of a better lap he needs to do. Meanwhile, Mido doesn't find any time at all. What about Tyrone? Does he find any time? And over the finish line? No, he's not improving. And on top of that, he's not found an improvement at all. He's invalidated his lap, so that is not going to be much. Not that he needs to improve. Meanwhile, one man does need to improve, but only P8 he goes to, and not quite sure what happened there. Has Mido retired? Because he has retired, but I wonder what exactly has happened. Meanwhile, Freddy is in P10. Everybody now over the line will be taking that checkered flag, ladies and gentlemen. That checkered flag is coming out right now, and it is out right now if you go over the line. So for Tyrone's lap is going to be it. Has Fino managed to get a bit of toe from his teammate? No, he's not improving at all. Slightly improves by just 6 milliseconds over the end of that middle sector. He needs much more than that. He needs a minimum of 6/10 to really ramp up his speed, ramp up his process to improve at this point in time, or at least 5.1 to get his lap over the line, or get that pole position that he needs. Can he get it over the line? No, he can't. 1:12.608. Still finds a little bit of an improvement, but not enough. Tyrone into the pit lane. Should be in the pit lane. Anybody else who's trying to find a time at the end? Tyrone, Archie, 1:13.211 for him. Tyrone's going to go and take the checkered flag. Meanwhile, Brendo should be taking the checkered flag as well. He goes a little bit wide again. He did that previously, does it again. Freddie over the finish line, P10 for him, takes a checkered flag, and P4 for Archie there, improves even a little bit more. 112.8, 112.888. That is a decent lap time for him out there as he gets it done and gets the job done, ladies and gentlemen. Brilliantly done for him, absolutely. For him, as that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the end of qualifying, and so far it is looking like a Tyrone domination. It has looked like the whole season, but in qualifying, I think the last few races, the comeback from Fino has been remarkable and has been one that can surely be talked about, at least with how good he has been able to do. But can Fino come back? Can he make it all together? And we've got to the end of qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, and these are your times. Takes ball by 4/10. Does Tyrone on pole position, Fino in P2, Michael in P3, with Archie, Checo, Mido, Devon in P7, with Brendo, Special, and Freddie completing out the top 10. Just outside the 4R, Romero, VDR, Wig, the Dog, and DJ, with his lowest time of 1:14.9, and Tyrone the fastest time of 1:12.185. So that is your great setup, ladies and gentlemen, and we are ready to go racing for round 11 here at New Age Championship, with the Drivers' Championship on the line. It is all to look for. So the most wins in a season was Midu first in Season 1, 6 wins for him. Fino in Season 3, and Tyrone in Season 6. And he's got it so far. He's got 2 races to make it 7, or make it even 8 to get the new record that he currently will be looking to get in this season, with these 2 rounds to go, of course, this one and right after this, after one. Most consecutive race finishes, remember, let's not forget our most consistent and clean drivers, so that is an interesting one. Alvaro has done 11 race finishes, so most race finishes throughout New Age Championship. Mido has done 14, and Ian has done 17, so that is interesting. Obviously, consistency comes with finishing every other race, and 17 in a row is some racing there. As so, we looked at the Drivers' Championship earlier. The Constructors' Championship, Williams 202 points to them, with Sauber with 170. With Red Bull could challenge the 9 points behind with 161 in 3rd place. So that could come into play with Mercedes MP4, 142 for them, as the formation lap should start around here. So that is nice and easy, as we're just looking at the Constructors' title throughout with interesting. So 142 for Mercedes in P5, P4, P5 for Ferrari 138, 126 for RB, but P7 to P9, McLaren on 30 points. Only 2 points behind is Aston Martin. They need to try and get ahead of McLaren, because McLaren has got no car out there tonight. Then Alpine with 26 points to their name, but they've got both cars in here as well. Then comes Haas, they've only got 1 point this season. I don't even remember anybody racing for Haas throughout the season, so that definitely explains about why they've only got 1 point. But definitely that battle for P7 is going to be on. McLaren's 30 points. They've got no drivers tonight, so either it's going to be the Alpine team or the Aston Martin team who take the take that 7th place. So a 2-stop race for 33 laps of racing and 33 laps of the Spanish GP here at Barcelona to Catalonia, and multiple tire choices then for all these drivers. Only five out of the 14 drivers have decided to start on a set of medium tires. Everyone else on a set of softs. This could either mean an early pit stop after a good start on a soft compound tire, or look at those dark clouds that are filled with water, filled with rain that could drop any moment. Might be underway, and might be on the way to come down in a few laps time. It's 33 laps, so it might rain around here. At least it looks like, and if it does, it's going to get even better, ladies and gentlemen. So bear with that. That could be a brilliant, eventually a brilliant, interesting thing for these drivers to look at, and an absolute hardness out there. Oh, look at that. That car is flying. That car is in the air. That Tyrone Alpine is not on the floor. That tire is not on the floor. It's in the air. We could even see that shadow. The grid is set. We are ready to go racing for round 11 of the Spanish GP. The championship is up for grab. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lights out, and we go racing here the Spanish GP. It's a very good start for Fino, not so good for Tyron. What about Michael behind his B3 as well? So it's ghosted these cars. I hope nothing's wrong, and this is just for that lap 1 precaution that some leagues leak. Meanwhile, Tyron's going to come for it round the outside. He's going to get the job done. They're still wheel to wheel, side by side. These two are racing. As Tyron got that good start. Not a good start, but he's recovered very well after that ghosting between cars. Oh, they make contact. They bang wheels, and they're both going to go super wide. That might allow Archie to go through, and he does get through. No, in fact, he does not. As for a moment you thought he will, but he might do it right about now. As round the outside of Fino. Fino almost makes contact with Archie there, but he's going to come back and get the job done at least P2. A brilliant start on a set of soft compound tyre for RT there. The medium tire did not get a better start at all. Now round the outside, is going to move to that inside line into the end of that middle sector and get back to P2. Meanwhile, Archie in P3, what a start for him. Followed by Checo in P4, Devon in P5, Mido in P6. One of the other Alpines went super wide, and that could be seen to Freddie in P8, P9 for special, DJ P10. Then it is Ian who's trying to get past DJ out here. Remember, Ian, the most consistent driver on New Age, is at 17 consistent race finishes out and about. Meanwhile, Wig in P12 with Romero in P13. He had made a big mistake out there, went back to the gravel, and Michael's down in P14, down in P14. Meanwhile, these two are going for it as Ian's went for it down the inside and got the move done. And also right behind comes Wig as he doesn't wait for anything at all, goes through and gets the job done. Brilliantly done for him. Meanwhile, Brendo had been fighting Checo out there, and he's got past him just about right now. As Mido in P5, P4 for Devon, P3 for Archie, and P2 for Fino at the moment. 5/10 ahead of Archie, and that DRS getting enabled on this lap. The DRS in that rear wing is going to be open on that Aston Martin. Can he get through? Not just about right now. Goes a little bit wide. Devon takes the apex. He almost goes into the apex and keeps it there. Meanwhile, Michael finds himself spinning around once more, and I'm sure Wig the Dog made a position as well, but he's now in P13, has got a front wing M plate missing. So I wonder if something has happened out there. I mean, a race leader up in front, 1.8 seconds, getting those fastest lap after fastest lap. And Michael and Wig the Dog both don't have that front wing M plate, so I wonder if something there really has happened between the two drivers out there. Will Romero go for it in the turn? Well, he sends it long way back and down the inside line, gets through, but he's going to come back at him. DJ around the outside now, either in a little bit too deep and goes wide, and that's going to allow DJ to come back, and he's got the job done. And brilliantly through he goes around the outside, but now comes an opportunity for Romero once more. He's not going to let him sit. He's not going to let him sit still, but brilliantly defended does DJ. Nicely plays his car out there and gets it done nice and easy, as that has been brilliantly done for Romero. For DJ, as he just manages to defend out there, as that is a great job for him. As Brendo in P6 at the moment, he's gaining a couple of positions out there. So looking at positions, 11 lost to Michael after a great P3 start. He's unfortunately only went downwards. DJ's gained 3, 2 for VDR, 2 Freddie has gained as well, 3 Devon has gained. That is a brilliant start for him eventually, as well as the tires now. So 5 drivers still on the set of those medium tires. Everybody else on a set of these soft compound tires. Meanwhile, Freddie and Special are going for it. They were side by side. Contact's been made, and Special spun round as he gets back on the track, but he tumbles down to the back of the grid in P12, only ahead of Wig, and Michael. Wig is coming right behind him as well, so that might be a bit of a problem for Special. Might be in a little bit of a trying to keep it ahead of Ig as well after a little bit of a spun round issue. Meanwhile, Romero is now through and ahead of DJ there, gets the job and moved on for the moment. Only 4 laps in. We are, and these drivers are going at it all the way, brilliantly getting the job done and doing all they can. So far, RT now has lost out the time, lost out the gap to Fino, 1.3 seconds. Meanwhile, Freddie has made a mistake or something out there. There was a yellow flag, and he's the front wing is intake, so I'm sure he might have lost out and went a little wide on the exit there, and all that progress that he had made and gained a couple of positions. He's lost out and down into P12 for him out there. That is going to be a bit of a problem. We're going to try and come back. Now, looking at drivers, but 3:10s between these two, Brendo and Midu. Brendo has managed to get this job done, has managed to get closer. He's gained a couple of positions out there, and he's trying to get past. You know, the car behind him of Checo might try and get past him, as Brendo then in P6 trying to get past the Mercedes of Midu. But at the moment, in fact, Checo looks more closer to Brendo than Brendo is to Midu. That might be a bit of a trouble for him out there. He's in a Mercedes sandwich. So remember, they both can work a little bit together to make it maybe make a move on Brendo out there. But can they do it? That is a question that we need to ask. He's another driver instead of medium, so definitely those soft tires might be running out of grip by now, by at least 2 more laps on those tires, and they will be done. Tyrone 3.9 seconds ahead of Fino. Fino 1.4 seconds ahead of RG on a set of soft. So definitely, on a set of mediums is Fino, and a set of soft is RG. So definitely those soft tires are not going to catch him anytime soon. But soft, the other one soft could catch the other soft. Can Devin catch RG? No, he can't. What about Midu trying to catch him at all? He can't do that as well. So 3:10s between Midu and Checo eventually, but Checo's unable to get past him just about right now. He might get him through there, as there's going to be an opportunity for him. He's going to go around the outside. In fact, he's run very wide. He went super wide out there. I wonder if he pushed him wide a little bit, or just to avoid some action. He's had to run very wide. Meanwhile, Brendo but no, Brendo is not. There might have been Vic the dog, who's out on a set of medium tires. So I wonder if it was... No, it was not him. It was only Freddie who was the driver into the pit lane. And your first stop, ladies and gentlemen, the first pit stop from these drivers is into this race. And he's got the hard compounded tire. How much does it take him? Where does that tire take him? 6 laps, 5 laps on a set of soft tires. Even if he's able to do 15 laps, he'd still need to pit again. I'm counting 12 laps on these hards in terms of 5 on those, 6 on those softs for these drivers, possibly 7 or 8 on these mediums, and then 12 laps on those sets of hard compound tire. Devin now a lot closer to RG. Can he get through though? Is there going to be an opportunity for him? Does he be as aggressive as Sam a couple of laps ago? No, he doesn't. And excuse me, but then let's go. 7 laps in out, lap 7 out of 33, and I think Devin now looks a little bit close to RT. RT seems to be losing that time, losing that progress to Devin out there, so it might be a soon coming opportunity for Devin to get past him, and he will not waste it at all. Meanwhile, Brando has just managed to stay ahead of Checo, but he hasn't been able to overtake Midu as well. Definitely that DRS strain that these drivers seem to be running in so far, so a little bit difficult for everybody to get past one another. Checo tries to go around the outside, but he blocks it well, defends it pretty nicely. Can't get past him at all this time around. Can he do it later on? Will he be able to do it in a few laps time? I think it's a time for the soft tire runners to pit. If not right now, later on it's going to be an opportunity. Even a medium tire runner pits in into Fino right now, and he thinks his tires are gone. His mediums need replacement, and his car needs new boots, and they have got new boots. Only 2 drivers in. That is interesting. And remember, Devin's on a set of soft compound tire as well, as Tyrone gets a set of hards, and not DJ, but Devon will get a set of mediums, I believe. Meanwhile, Victor Dog is into the pit lane as well. He's already on a set of mediums, so I'm assuming he's going to go on a set of hard compound tire. Fino gets that hard tire. Meanwhile, one man who gets a little bit of an hard check, almost on the back of that Alpine, went special. For a moment, you would have thought he's almost into the back of him there, but he's just saved it. In a little nice and easy fashion. Meanwhile, Fino gets past his teammate in no time, trying to waste no time in the traffic. Meanwhile, VTR is now right behind his teammate Ian, and he should be getting past him on that DRS road, but will he be able to get a better exit than him? At the moment, as it looks like, he's got a decent exit, but will he be able to save it out there? He's going to go for it on the inside line. Yes, he does, very late. Is he going to get through? Yes, he will be. They make contact, bang wheels. That front wing end plate is chopped off the Alpine, but through will be VTR. Ian gets that move done, and at the front, Checo had spun round, I believe. He's going to come into the pit lane. Yes, he's got front wing end plate missing as well. So is Midu, so that's going to be interesting. A double stack and two stops. It's going to be a double stack of 4 Mercedes. Will it make Checo lose a little bit of a time out there? No, it shouldn't, and that is a brilliant in, but Checo might have made a big mistake because there was a yellow flag. Unfortunately, we couldn't check it in. Sorry about that. Meanwhile, one man who would not be sorry about it is going to be Devon, who's going to get past DJ and get into P6, get the move done. I don't know whether they were fighting or Devon was saving his position from DJ, but eventually one man who's got past is Michael. Meanwhile, Archie's going to look to get past DJ here. Has Archie went to the pits? I don't think so. Yes, he has in fact went to the pits on a set of new medium compound tires. They're going to be will to will. Outside line's going to be a bit of a better one. Almost chops off the Aston Martin's front wing, but it's going to run wide. It's going to run absolutely wide. Get onto that sausage curb and goes up ahead. Will be Archie and makes that move into P7. Gets the job done. Alright, my mic was muted. Should be unmuted right now. Sfino's back up into P4. Meanwhile, Tyron is still not pitted, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that. Tyron, your race leader, championship leader. He's soon to be world champion this season, unless something horribly goes wrong for him. Has done over 10 laps on the set of medium compound tires. Now 18 seconds to the next car, who's a stop behind as well. That is going to be interesting to get things done. Meanwhile, one man who's wasting no time behind these cars is going to be Fino. He's already back into P3, and he now just needs Brando and Tyron to get beside and then to go into the pit lane and really get him now. And I think Fino's now into some free air, and even before that, and before he could get to that free air, over 19.7 seconds Tyron gained on him, so that's a lot of a time, to say the least. As I just chucked some water to get that a little bit of a snap from Special out there. 1.6 seconds to Fino. He's lost out time now to Devon, who's on brand new medium compound tires. Everybody's pitted then now. Only Tyron, Brando and Special has not pitted in this race so far, and already Devon's going to be behind Special. He's going to be not yet side by side with him, but he will be side by side with him soon, and they're going to make contact there. What was that? That was now the front wing end plate of the Alpine, earlier chopped off, and now it's going to be the front wing end plate of Special. I wonder if there was some leg issues of some bug issues out there, because there was absolutely no need to make contact, especially when you're at a straight and going side by side. I wonder something's happened, because that was a bit unusual, so we'll need to see the POE of both of them to eventually decide to what's gonna be happening between the two. Meanwhile, Archie now behind Special as well, and should be getting through as well in no time, at least at the main straight. He will need to pit. He still doesn't pit. Meanwhile, look at that, your race leader Tyron, ladies. I mean, geez, 12 laps on those mediums, and he's only gaining to the next car. I mean, let's not calling anything, but 12 laps on those mediums when drivers could, let's say the likes of Fino could only manage 8, is a little bit suspicious. I mean, obviously, it's a nice and easy community, so I doubt anyone's going to be there. I'm not saying anything. I'm just discussing a point, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not calling out anybody. Obviously, he's worked hard. He's got the pace. He's got the speed to really do what he's doing right now. That's the only reason he's doing that, but eventually it gets hard, because I've actually had that experience of a cheetah once back on F1 23 where this he did, I think, 12 or 15 laps, 15 or 20 laps on a set of soft compound tire. What that cheat would do is would not give him any tire wear as well. Tyron's going to come into the pit lane right now. No, he will not. Goes out again, and definitely I doubt how much and how bad those medium tires are really feeling, because looking at speeds and looking at lap times right now, he's got the fastest lap of 1:15.5, and Fino on a set of, he's on a set of hards, but on a set of mediums is Devon, who's got 1:15.9 on new mediums. So definitely he's got some rapid pace, rapid speed. As Tyron got in this race, and now he's a full pit stop ahead. So he's done absolutely remarkable to do what he is doing. Meanwhile, Archie couldn't get through and ahead of Devon on the previous lap. He's going to get ahead of him just about now. And these two don't make contact at the straight. Will Devon come back at him? No, he will not. And ahead goes Archie. Just moves to the left-hand side or to the right-hand side. Gets the job done in no time. Brilliantly for him, as that is nice and easy. Meanwhile, Brando is out on a set of new hard tires as well, and Special, after losing many positions, is finally into the pits in lap 10. So now Brando's pitted as well, so only driver who hasn't yet pitted in this race is Tyron. He's losing a little bit of time out there. For a moment it was over 26 seconds, but now 25.5 seconds out there, so that is a little bit of positions lost, not positions lost, but obviously just slight bit of time lost. And also that I'll do that bit of testing, or at least watch this stream back, and all of you watching, do let me know how's the experience of watching this on a TV, because the complaint from the GT7 stream I had, it'll be on my YouTube channel, if any of you guys could go and give that feedback on that as well, because basically I had a feedback of when they were watching it on TV, the game audio was a little bit more than in the F1. Obviously those cars slightly, they don't even have that much of a noise, but somewhat that game overall might have a little bit more noise. The GT3 cars, they were. As now look at this way DR is going to be there. Meanwhile, our race leader is still continuing on. He's looking for a one-stopper, that's for sure, as very wide goes Checo out there, but recovers in no time. Obviously after the pit stops things are neutralized, but maybe not in this case, especially after being on brand new medium compound tires. He's going to try and get past DJ, and he will get past DJ around the outside. There's still going to be wheel to wheel, side by side. Who's going to be late on the brakes towards that one? It's going to be DJ who sends it in there. Almost they make contact. They might have made contact there, but DJ, an unusual choice for him, and then VTR as well, that going on to a set of soft compound tires. So definitely either they're waiting for rain, or they're simply opting for a one more stop now, and that race will be done, as the tires on that Williams are on, and that Williams is now on the pit exit almost. Meanwhile, Fino's right behind him. Has he through? He's surely going to be through, or yes, he will be in fact. But now that gap is 2.3 seconds. He's absolutely done a mega job, has done Fino there. He's Tyron, who's overcut Fino, who's now on a set of hard tires, but he's on a set of hards that is over 7 laps old, 7 lap older tires. So even if the gap is a little bit less, 1.9 seconds between the two, which is obviously less than what it was before these stops, but still not enough, in terms of for Fino to have any chance. I mean, unless he drives rapidly, at least he will be driving for the moment that Tyron has not medium tires, but that pause menu, hasn't come actually in a long time on a screen, which used to come a lot on F1 24 for me. that is Sadai. So now look at this, 16, lap 16 out of 33. We're nearly halfway distance through this race now, and 2.7 seconds already. Tyron's gained up this space. So apologies for that. I went quiet for a little bit. That was sorting some stuff on the off track. Now look at this, Checo within a second of Ian ahead. So is Romero within 1 second of Checo. This could be a little bit nice three-way fight. Meanwhile, one man Checo's already going to be through and ahead of Special and up, sorry, of Ian and up into P7 and Romero into P8 as well. And now these guys could end up fighting each other out there as the race is kind of neutralized at this point, after not many drivers much closer to each other. Meanwhile, these guys are closer to each other as DJ's going to come back at him. They're going to be side by side around the outside. Goes ahead, does DJ. He's been pretty brave, especially in that part of the circuit. He's not waited at all. He's not been patient in terms of that. Trying to wait in on Michael is struggling completely in this race so far. After qualifying P3, dropped down at the start, and he's been horribly unable to do that. Out there as Freddie in P13 at the moment, and definitely your man at the top, Tyron, who has had a couple of rough races the last few weeks. He's definitely not looking back at all this time around. He's looking to absolutely win this and dominate this eventually, as he's going to get the job done and into the lead, and getting those fastest laps as well. Devon's in the pit lane again to get those soft medium tires off, and now time for his set of hards, and those hards should be taking him to the end of this race. So now, yeah, basically Michael hasn't been able to recover and able to do that as well. Meanwhile, now Freddie's going to move to the inside line as Big the Dog is moving under braking there quite rapidly, and that's going to be him getting through. But they're going to be three wide, heading towards turn one. The camera angle just gets ruined and slightly knocks off. Does Freddie? Ooh, slightly that Williams driver knocked off Freddie, but he's going to be there, still hanging in his car in. DJ now is in trouble, and now Michael's going to be overtaken and ahead as well. And into P12 for him, at least one position better. Has he pitted again? No, he has not, has Michael, so he's definitely struggling out there. He might try and get ahead of Freddie, but he's unable to do much. Meanwhile, these neutralized gaps are just going back now, as VDR is going to be on the worst to get ahead of Romero. Can he get ahead of him? Slightly sends it in there on the inside line. They slightly made contact. There was some dust parting off that car on the exit. He had to back out slightly, does VDR. Milo's going to go wide. He's going to go absolutely wide. In fact, he might have just let his teammate get past, who's on 4-lap old medium tires versus 7-lap older soft compound tire, which obviously would be a little bit of an issue at the moment. Meanwhile, another battle out on track is between these drivers. Big the Dog in P10 at the moment, their final point scoring position, and he's over 5/10 at the moment, but this straight might help Freddie to catch up back to him. Will he catch up back to him? Not just yet, about right now, but that is not going to be easy for him at the moment, as now there might be in fact an opportunity for him. It's got very closer to him, at least towards then when he was not that much closer, but he's going to be very closer now, and an opportunity for him to get past is sure he's only going to be waiting. He's got the soft hard tires on, so has Big the Dog, who's got the hard tires as well, but will he get through? He runs a little bit wide than he would have liked, but both of them have made a new one is on 10-lap all hards, the other is on 12-lap hards. Is it going to be the 10-lap hards able to overtake, or is it going to be the 12-lap hards able to defend? Sorry, 12 laps are going to be able to overtake, and 10 laps are going to be able to defend. So yeah, that's nice and easy. 2 laps. Do these 2 laps make a difference? We're about to find out. For them fighting out there, I mean, all these 2 teammates might be fighting the Alpines as well, as Special is fighting one Alpine at the front. The EDR is having to defend from the other Alpine. One Alpine's going to be through. So will be the RB at the other end. And brilliantly done. An overtake for both the cars. Meanwhile, at the very back, you are looking at Checo, who was nowhere near these guys at... Well, in fact, he has made a pit stop. Then he's went on for a set of soft tire. that is an interesting choice, because I only think that he's made 2 stops already. So unless there is some rain coming, I doubt that the soft tire is any good in this race, because sure, we saw some soft tire runners doing a decent job at the start. I doubt it's any good. Meanwhile, Fino's into the pit lane again. He's into the pits after doing 12 laps on these hard compound tires, and a set of mediums should be on his car. It is rather a set of hard soft tires now, so that is interesting. So as I said, the rain might be on the way, because you know that. Is there a spin? Is there another spin out there? No, there's a yellow flag. So there might be some rain out there, because 13 laps still going, and you know 13 laps. He's done 12. He's done hard on that hard compound tire, a maximum of 12 laps. So you're doubting that anybody would be able to do that many laps on a set of compound tires, unless they want to make a 3-stop race, which I don't think it is any faster than a 2-stop. But meanwhile, around the outside goes Devon, and Devon is flying on that set of hard compound tires compared to old 7-lap older mediums of special. Meanwhile, a couple of drivers now into the pits. Oh, then let's see what tires have they pitted. So hard tires for Midu. What about VDR? Meanwhile, Checo's just coming around. He's on a set of hard soft tires as well. It's going to be around the outside. It's going to be very close between the two towards turn 1. Then Emilia nearly made contact. And VDR Ian has to back out in no time. Otherwise, could have ended up horribly wrong, as DJ in that pit. Midu's on a set of hards. Checo's on a set of mediums. Ian's on a set of hard mediums as well. So is Romero along with DJ. So unusual bit of choice from Fino out there, unless he's trying to get that soft, faster lap, unless he's trying to get that fastest lap, which he eventually needs or wants to get. I doubt if there is anything really that he'd be wanting to worry about, or rather, you know, something that he, you know, would be looking at and say, okay, I need to get onto the soft tire and I'll go to the end. I doubt that, so I doubt that. I don't think that would have happened, so that is what we could say. Meanwhile, these two are going to be at it. Ian's going to be there. Medium tire versus soft tire. Who's going to be able to get the job done? Is it going to be Ian? Is it going to be Checo? The soft tire runner might just do enough to defend towards turn 1. He will do enough to defend towards turn 1. He's going to keep his position and keep and be in the end where he is. Gets the job done. In fact, doesn't get the job done, but at least he gets the job done defending, so that's a nice one for him. Lap 22 out of 33, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, we haven't had a safety car and we haven't had a DNF this race. All 14 drivers that started are racing till now. We've had some spins, we've had some mistakes and yellow flags from these drivers, but still they've continued on. Obviously, that's the favorite thing. That's the best thing about a F1, actual F1 classic circuit. There are some classic circuits as well with closer walls, but at least not one like a street circuit where it's very hard. Very punishing, where if you make a slightest of mistakes, let's say Monaco and Singapore, and you'd be in the wall in no time. Meanwhile, at the back, Freddie and Michael are into the pit lane once more. Archie's into P3. That is a brilliant job from him. Brendo, look at that. He's made one stop. All right, he's up pit stop behind. And I was about to say his mid position's nice, but he's oh, what happened there? 3 drivers in front have lost out there, left the session. I hope nothing's wrong, but what is exactly wrong there? Because there was at least 4 or 5 drivers leaving out the session at once. There has been definitely something absolutely wrong out there, because look at that now. Archie he's sorry, not Archie. That's one of the. That should be Devon in that. Yes, it's Romero in that Alpine, but he's out of the session. I wonder what about what's instead of these guys. So is Wake the Dog then. His AI is coming into the pit lane then. to get a new set of tires, and I wonder if he even wanted to or not, but that is not a nice scenes out here. Oh, almost in the back of DJ goes Freddy there, has to back out of it. Meanwhile, Michael's AI seems to be racing. Then there was definitely many more drivers getting out of the session. It'll be interesting to see when do they come in, and will they come in nice and easy at all. Michael now going to be right behind Freddy. It's even the AI to racing, but we'll see if they can catch up back with the action. And all right, lobby crashed as Ole. All right, as Ole was trying to get a invite. I wonder if we have him edit in the end. If we have him edit, we can send an invite out there. If that's okay, I don't even know how to invite. Look at that. That's not the way to do it. That's the way to do it out there. I wonder. There's only Devin. There's a couple of drivers, but I don't think I have you edit, my friend. So special should be the way, but that's not. I don't have him edit at all, and that's gonna be a problem out there. Drivers who cared, and now Fino's left the session. Fino has left the session as well. This is an absolute disaster, ladies and gentlemen. DJ has as well. Specials joined in. He's got the invite. But look at that now. Fino, who's short 26 seconds behind the leader, but he at least had something to fight for the championship, and he is out of the session as well. The lobby problems. At least glad we are not out of the session so far, but that is problems from this lobby, and that is absolutely horrendous, as the lobby is ripped up, as now many drivers are losing out. We're 25 laps in as well, so that is not much you can do right now, because our restart only happens if it's at the start of the season, not the start of the season, sorry, start of the race, not in a position like this, where 25 laps out of 33 have passed, and I think by the looks of it, these two are fighting. I wonder both of them, yes, both of them are out of the session out here. Freddy is in the session, so I wonder if you can invite him. Meanwhile, Mido's retired and migrating host, so I wonder if something has happened. Meanwhile, Mido's retired and not quite sure what is happening. Mido's left, and Mido is out of the session, and he's retired. I guess he might have done it on purpose there, because now Michael has joined. He's retired out, as there's some drivers in the pits. Wig the Dog is in the pits again, so I wonder if I have him added, unless he's in the pits again. Wig the Dog, I wonder if he's in, because we can invite him. He's on PlayStation eventually, so no invite issue should be for him. Oh, DJ's not in as well, so how many drivers can we invite here? Because I had a couple of them added. Let's get Wig the Dog an invite. Should send one to Devin as well. What about Wig the Dog? Alright, we already sent him one, so that is no issues for him. And a couple of invites to these drivers, and now we might be getting out of something, because that communicating with online services is on for us as well. So sorry about that. We're getting a little bit distracted, but that's because we're having issues out here. And look at this, Fino. This 27.7 seconds. He's not in the race at all. That is problems, ladies and gentlemen. That is big problems out there, because that is not what you want. And Fino, can we invite him into the session? I think he's EA. I wonder if we can add him. I don't think we can add him at this moment in time, because that is not the place. And all those on PlayStation, I can eventually add and send an invite, but not these guys. At least not these guys out here. That is absolutely disastrous so far. What about DJ? We can't actually invite them at this point. That is interesting. Would have thought that we can at least bring on the same platform, but now look at this. All right, then let's get back to this race. 27 laps in out of 33. Tyrone looks set to win 7 races this season, most by any driver at New Age F1, and win this championship. Fino in P2. Oh, he's not in there. The AI is driving. Archie in P3. Devon in P4, but his AI is driving as well. Brendo in P5 on 4-lap older medium time. Special in P6. WDR in P7, followed by Romero in P8. He's out of the session as well. Another driver without being in the car. Michael did lose out, but he's back in. Then he's in P9. He's recovered it back in, but D was not in the car. Michael Checo, DJ's not in the car. Checo is in, but so is in Wake the Dog. So I wonder if these guys haven't tried joining back in, but they've just not found any success joining back in at all, and they have not been able to do that. Tyrone doesn't want to worry about it. Tyrone does not worry about it at all, as he wants to continue on. In fact, he is continuing on out at this point, at the front and at the top of it, at this race. So it's continuing on nice and easy at the moment, and it's going to be all fun and game until Tyrone's car loses the connection as well. Let's hope that doesn't happen for his sake, because he's definitely fighting for his record 7th win of the season, and a definite job. And obviously Dees is not here tonight as well. Usually he manages everything, remember. So obviously nobody's restarted, and then look at that, the gaps between these drivers. The whole race is neutralized out here. 30 seconds to the next car that is obviously not in the session. Archie over 9 seconds to it, even compared to the AI. Devon out of it as well, 11 seconds behind to the next car. Brendo 10 seconds behind Devon out there. Special in P6 and 7 the RP drivers are. P8 for Romero. Meanwhile, P9 for Michael. Nice recovery for him finally after a horrendous start and the race throughout. Freddy in P10, and Checo's now retired out in the pit lane, I believe. And another stop. What is this AI teams, man? Wig the Dog has at least stopped, I don't know, 4 times in this race. Look at this. That is his 4th stop then. 3 make it 4 after he comes out of the pit lane. So many times the AI has decided to send them into the pits, and now Checo's retired as well. Both the Mercedes drivers have now retired out of this session, so that is not so really good of a situation out here as a yellow flag as Checo comes out back on track. I mean, he's in P13, so depends whether what exactly happened, but he's lost out as well, I think. And now Checo's lost the connection. This looks a little bit of a messed one. I mean, at least there's not much racing. Only that's the thing that you'd say, okay, it's fine, but otherwise this doesn't look any easy at all. And now, because of that, Romero's about to lose position to Michael, who's going to go on the inside and get ahead of the AI of Romero into P8, as Michael's trying to recover a lot of points at the top. And now Archie, there's not many laps, but he's only 8.7 seconds behind Fino. Only 8.7 seconds behind him, so that is interesting. And I wonder if all those drivers whose AIs are racing will get any points out of these positions or not, because, you know, those who aren't there, all right, I mean, they argue we were kicked and we couldn't join again, but also those who aren't, those who are in there could say that, okay, I mean, they simply dropped out, so none of our issue. We should get the position, you know. We should at least be ahead of them out on track, but which I don't think will happen, honestly, realistically, but it's just a bit of a option of what's to happen. And now Freddy is waiting as well. This race should be repeated, says Freddy, but what is all of this going to be happening? Because that is interesting then. It has been a bigger issue. I mean, that is interesting. I've seen drivers dropped out. I've seen lobbies have issues, and already I think, bear in mind, ladies and gentlemen, Tyrone now lap 31 out of 33, leads by 33 seconds with Fino not being out there. If he wins this race, stays where he is, He will become your new Age champion of this season. Will take the Drivers' Championship of New Age, which is New Age F1, and win 7 races in the season, most by any driver. Not only this season, but ever by a driver in New Age F1. And now that communicating with online service is on. So I think that possibly I hope not, but we might be getting kicked out as well anytime soon, because you never know out there, because that is not really a thing we sing, and definitely I was racing against bots, so that is interesting. I think he got kicked as well, Freddy, in the end. We did send him an invite, but he did not join a game, but I guess that is brilliant. So dang, says Edward, but that's definitely not the word you want to hear, obviously, in a way. Now, what about Freddy's 2/10 behind Romero? But it's not even fun watching this, because obviously it's the AI's racing. Meanwhile, Freddy's going to be there. The car is going to go through him as he's ghosted. Doesn't need to move anywhere near him, and he's going to get past, and an overtake comes in. So an overtake's done now, but these drivers, all those, I mean, now, how many aren't racing? Look at this. 1, 2, Devon's not racing. Brendo is. Look at these 2 guys are, but then Freddy, 1, 2, 3, 4, all drivers at the back are not racing, along with Devon and Fino. So 6 drivers are not racing out of the 12. Only 6 are racing. I think that is then really horrible. I think right now Tyrone, at least at the moment, will be celebrating under the helmet. Depends if it really, if this race does get to the end, if this stage does get repeated or not. But the man on your screen so far will really be smiling and would be wanting to win this race here at Spain. Take the victory, take the win. So now, looking at these things, I think it's nice and easy for him, but definitely not for all those who have been kicked out. And I think, forget about this lobby, this is a bigger issue in terms of EA. I think now you know that's why there's no F1 26 coming out, but for God's sake, at least fix these issues, fix these problems that they don't happen. Meanwhile, Tyrone will be the man. He's going to come around the finish line now and win the Spanish Grand Prix and make a new record of 7 wins in a season for the first time ever. First man to do it. And in the end, it's going to be the Drivers' Championship for him as well, which should have been over a couple of, maybe a race or 2 earlier. Had he won in Zandvoort, but it's going to be over here. And Tyrone's going to be your new Drivers' Champion in the world just right now, though, unless some reports come about this race, as a couple of drivers have already taken the checkered flag, as Fino now in 2nd place with that AI driving and kicked out of the session. Should have been under the car. Meanwhile, Archie is going to have an absolute brilliant race over the finish line and get on the podium for Aston Martin and get some absolutely exclusive points, and they might just get them 7th place that they would have been looking for. And Devon again, another AI, but now getting back to P4 for him, Devon, and P5 to Brando, getting those points for Sauber as well. Gets to the end, a top 5 finish out here, special for RB, along with his teammate VDR, who's already taken the checkered flag. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the end of this one, at the end of this race. But look at this. And that is interesting. Obviously, I sent a couple of restarts as well, but the servers are really absolutely brilliant. I mean, brings home a podium. Does Archie from P7. Look at those podium celebrations. You know, your champion is going to be celebrating Tyron there, but I think it's absolutely horrendous at this point. Tyron gets everything: cleanest driver, most overtake, driver of the day, fastest lap, and race winner out here. So then look at this. At least for the moment, I'm going to announce. Not sure what's going to happen for this race, but even if it doesn't, then these are your results. Tyron wins out of Fino with Archie and Pete. The Ray, Devon P4, Brendo P5 with special Brendo, Ian, Michael, Freddy, Romero, DJ, and Victor Dog in P12. Midu and Checo out of this race so far, so that is not so good. That is the end, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna be the end of this one. This was obviously not a end of the race, especially at a race where the championship was to be decided, and he wins. Tyron takes the drivers' championship in my calculations? Obviously should, and that should be a brilliant one for him, and he's gonna enjoy that. Enjoy it. Congratulations to everyone. Congratulations to Tyron on that championship and that record of 7 wins, and everyone who participated. Unfortunate with the lobby issues, but throughout the season, everybody has done a great job. Thank you so much for all of you tuning in. This was myself, Zabi, and from all of us here at New Age Championship, it's a goodbye, and we're out. See you for the next round next weekend.